This video is the formation of the Akatsuki. Storytime, formation of the Akatsuki. So, it all happened a long time ago in the Narutoverse. So, there was some war orphans. There was Yahiko, Konan, and Nagato. They all met each other after, losing their families to the war, the Third Great Shinobi War. They um they were born and they lived in a war-torn nation called the Land of Rain, or the Village Hidden in the Rain. It was like on the border of like other lands, and it's always been a place of like conflict, where other like people from other lands would go there to their land to fight. But they were like tired of it. Um, they got trained by Jiraiya, the Toad Mountain Sage. They got trained by Jiraiya, and Jiraiya stayed with them for about, I don't know, a year or something. And then they were on their own. After that happened, they were like, let's use our powers that we've obtained with Jiraiya to try to bring like stability to our village. Make it a place where children can live and be happy. That was the goal of them starting the Akatsuki. Yahiko was like, I'm the leader of the Akatsuki. We will, you know, get people on our side, and we'll go against Hanzo. See, Hanzo was the dictator of the Hidden Rain Village at the time. He was the one who ruled over it and other things. Um, One day, however, he got afraid of triple of the Akatsuki's like rise, and he was like, "Okay, well, I want to see Yahiko, the leader. I want you to bring me his head." They couldn't do that, so then they took Konan, and Nagato and Yahiko were standing face to face with Hanzo and his army. Hanzo's like, "You're the leader of the Akatsuki, right, Yahiko?" And he's like, "Here, take this knife and kill yourself with it. If you do that, the woman will be let go. Konan will be free, and you'll be able to like move on, or well, not you, but Nagato will be able to move on, and she'll be able to move on, but you will be dead, like I need you to be, because like I don't need you to take over, what I have going on." So Nagato grabs the knife, and he's just standing there like, "Oh my god! Either I kill either I kill Yahiko to save Konan, or I don't kill Yahiko and Hanzo kills Konan." But um and Yahiko ran into the blade, like not thinking, not doing anything. He was just like, I'll gladly die for my friends. I care about both of you. You guys gotta live on. And he died. Um then Nagato, out of fit of rage, he summoned the ghetto statue, the Ten Tails husk. He summoned it with the Renegon shit. Um and he summoned those dragons. See, those things were able to basically like kill you instantly. If it touches you, it kills you instantly. And Hanzo was face to face with that shit, and he ended up getting away, because he was skilled enough ninja, to like get away from shit like that. But it was short lived, basically, because and prior to this, a guy approached them with a mask. He claimed himself as Madara, And he was like, you guys should, think about working for me if you want to create true stability, true, peace in this world. And Nagato was considering it, but then Yahiko was like, no, don't listen to that guy. But he came back and he was like, are you ready to like he calls to meet and make this world a better place? Not being Toby or eventually we found out that that guy is Obito, but um, he found them again and he was like, okay, well he calls to you. Now let's take over this land and do right by it, how we were supposed to. But they weren't going to do that. They were going to he calls to Obito and or Madara, with the quotation marks, because he knew how to do some things. He's like, okay, that's the Ten Tails husk that you summoned on Donzo, or not Donzo, Hanzo, and you killed him like I needed you to. And now you'll put, chakra rods inside of these, dead shinobi, inside of your friend, and then you'll have the six paths of pain. You'll be able to control these like puppets as you see fit because you have the Renegon and you are the, you know, leader of the Akatsuki leader, but it's really me pulling, the strings behind the scenes. We'll have to recruit more members. Like, not just anybody, though. Not just some fucking scrubs that you had before, but people who can actually, like, do damage and shit to people. So they start, recruiting members after that. And Pain is born from, Nagato. He created the six paths of pain. And then Pain and Conan were a group. They were already grouped together. So they go after a guy named Sasori of the Red Sand. See, Sasori had killed the third Kazakage and made him into a puppet. And he was known as Sasori of the Red Sand. And he's also the grandson of Chiyo, who also fought in some great shinobi wars back in the day. And he was, running around in the sand village like as a, um, rogue shinobi. And she was like, this young man can be a part of the Akatsuki. He can help us out. And he was like, I guess I have no choice, because he got jumped by her and he didn't want to have to fight too much. And he was already like on the run from fucking Sand Ambu and other things. So he was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'll join you guys. So he then joined. Then there was word about a guy named Orochimaru. See, Orochimaru was a part of, the Leaf Village, but he was playing games. He was experimenting with people. He was fucking around too much, y'all. He was doing, he was trying to find a way to become immortal. Um, that's what like drove him down the path of this like crazy shit that he does. He didn't want to die. He wanted to live long enough to learn every jutsu there ever was. And he got found out by the third Okage, and the third Okage was like, "Yo, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You can't be, running around doing this shit. Killing your own kind, your own, shinobi from the Hidden Leaf. I had high expectations for you, but you're like, doing this fucking shady shit behind the scenes. I can't trust you to be Okage if you're doing shit like this." He's like, "I don't care." He ran away. But when he ran away, he started like fucking around in other villages, playing games with other people's bodies and shit like that. So, they caught wind of it and they're like, you know what, we need to reel this guy in, because he plays games. We don't need that. Um, we don't need him out here playing games. But they also had a guy named Jozu too. See, this guy was a part of the um, Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. He had the Executioner's Blade before Zabuza had it. And Jozu was also a member of the Akatsuki at that point. But when they went to go find him, it was Pain and Sasori who fought against Orochimaru in the woods. And Pain was just sitting back watching Sasori fight. Sasori was like, "This son of a bitch is weak. I can take him out." But Orochimaru had he played games. He, you know, knew what the fuck was going on, and he basically shut Sorcery down. But then he tried to go after Pain's eyes, and Pain was like almighty push, and like he couldn't touch him. Like he got that close to his eyeball, and then he was like, I guess I can join you guys for now. You know, it'll be good for me to know some things. Being around monsters like you, I can't even fight. You know, like I can't even like get away from you guys. So I might as well join you guys. So then Orochimaru joined the Akatsuki as well. Then Kisame was pulled into the mix too. See, Kisame was pulled into the mix. Um, Obito had brainwashed the third, or not the third, the fourth Mizukage. See, he was a boy who had the three shells in him, and he was controlling the Blood Mist Village from behind the scenes. He was controlling Yagara, was the guy's name, and he was like, yes, um, Kisame, you must join me. And he was like, oh wow, so you were the one who was like, really controlling, this village from behind the scenes. And he was like, yes, because I'm Madara Uchiha. And he even showed his face to Kisame, and Kisame was like, oh shit, okay, yeah. I'll join you guys and become one of the, guys. And he had one of the legendary swords called Samehada. Samehada allowed him to like drain chakra from people and um, heal himself or just give himself a extra chakra for him to use, water style jutsu with. After that, though, Obito, or Madara, as he was going by at that time, went into the Leaf Village. He went to the Leaf Village, right? When he went to the Leaf Village, he knew that Itachi had to kill the clan, kill everybody in the Uchiha clan, because the Hidden Leaf higher ups were afraid of an uprising, and that the Hidden Leaf would be, destroyed by the Uchiha. So Uchiha Sasuke, or not Sasuke, but Itachi, got the orders to kill his, brethren, and he did, but he had help from Obito, or Madara, and they killed all the Uchihas except Sasuke, and then Itachi joined the Akatsuki. See, when Itachi joined the Akatsuki, Orochimaru, like he's like, ooh, this guy started to like perk up a little bit, and he was like, this guy's from the Hidden Leaf. I know who this guy is. He's an Uchiha. He has Keke Genkai. He has Sharingan. I want that for myself. So one day, Orochimaru's fucking around playing games, and Itachi's just there, walking, and then he tries to grab like Itachi and like do shit to him, but Itachi has the move called Tsukuyomi, so he was not, getting had by anybody. After that day, though, Orochimaru left the Akatsuki, knowing he couldn't have any, no, like he couldn't gain any power with them. He left, in hopes that he could find power elsewhere. And he left, but they were in need of more people to go after these tailed beasts, since there was 9 tailed beasts, and they had the group of Pain, Konan, Sasori needed a partner. They also hunted down after that Kakuzu. Kakuzu was like a guy who had, he was on time too. See, this guy was a zombie. He was running around like for a long time. He had a cursed jutsu or something like that, where he could take somebody's heart and then apply it to his body, and then like that person's jutsu would become his jutsus too. And he lived like that for like a long time. Like he was old enough to know about like Hashirama, and he actually did fight against Hashirama back in the day. But this guy loved money and shit, so they had to like recruit him to the Akatsuki, and he became a part of the Akatsuki. But then Pain was like, "We need to find you a partner, Sasori, since Orochimaru's gone." And he's like, "All right." So they went to the Stone Village, and in the Stone Village, they met a boy named Datara, and Datara was playing games. Datara loved to create art, but not just any kind of art, explosive art. So he used clay bombs, and and they were in forms of like birds and dragons and snakes and all kind of shit. And these things, it was detonation clay. Um, so they were like, this guy is already looked at as a rogue shinobi. You know, people don't like him in this village. We'll take him under our, he'll be an Akatsuki member. You know, yeah, okay, and he was like not trying to go with him at first. He was like, I'll defeat that guy with the Sharingan. That'd be Itachi. But Itachi put him under Tsukuyomi, and it was like he almost killed himself. Um, thinking he was gonna kill Itachi, but he had the centipede wrapped around himself. And he was like, "Hey man," like Sasori was like, "Hey boy, you're gonna kill yourself. You better calm down." And he was like, "Oh shit." And he was like, "All right, I guess I'll join you guys, but I don't like my art being under admonished. Not under admonished, but you know, looked down upon." And he joined the Akatsuki. At that point, they had all the members still. So they had Sasori and Data in a group. Itachi and Kisame were in a group. Zetsu was already moving around. Toby was not a part of the group, but he was a part of the group. And then they had Kakazu, right? So Kakazu, what were they gonna do with him? They needed to find him a partner, right? They eventually found a guy named Hidan. See, Hidan had a curse jutsu. He gave lives to a god named Jashin. In exchange, Jashin blessed him with the ability of immortality. So anything that happened to him, like, he couldn't die. This guy can't die. Um, and he was running around just killing people. He's like, I have to do this so I can, keep my immortality and other things. It's just cool. And then they found him, and Kakazu was able to. Well, Hedon like killed one of Kakazu's hearts, but then he was like, "What? You're still alive?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course I'm still alive. I collect hearts, and that's how I survive." And he's like, "Well, I'm basically a voodoo expert. Like anything that happens to me happens to you, and usually the person dies, but you're still alive." And they were like, fighting and other things, and they were like, "You know what? You better just join us because, well, as you might not be able to be killed, you could still be like dismembered and shit, and we can like separate your pieces all over the fucking place. And then you won't be able to use jutsu and stuff." And he was like, "Oh man, fuck that. I ain't gonna do that. I'll just join you guys." And he was like, "As long as I get to kill people." And they're like, "Yeah, you'll get to do plenty of that. Now you're a part of the Akatsuki." And that's how the Akatsuki was assembled. Um, all those groups: Kakazu, Hidan, Sasori, and Datara, Itachi and Kisame, Pain and Konan, and then Obito and or Toby and Zetsu were just people who were like outliers. They were like fucking around doing other stuff. Um, Zetsu was a guy who reported shit to like all the other members, let them know what was going on. And then Obito was just playing the guy in the background. Every once in a while telling Pain to move this way and move that way, and then acting like a fool on the side. But that's how the Akatsuki was formed. And then, everything else happened, and, the story is whatever. But that's how the Akatsuki got formed. As told by yours truly, the Green Angel. Stay cool, Call on the Corner.